For this tutorial, I used my Addi 46 pin and I used waste yarn on each end, and I also left myself about 5 yards on each end. I'm going to use that for crocheting this tube. And your tube should measure about 10 inches or 25 centimeters, and I did a total of 50 rows to get this. I'm also going to be using a 4.25 millimeter hook, and this is what I'm going to be using to pick up these stitches here. So using my excess tail on either side, it doesn't really matter. You're going to stick your hook in the first stitch and draw up a loop, and then you're going to chain one. Now in each stitch that we pick up, we're going to make one loose single crochet. And the reason I say loose is because you don't really want this to be tight. So if you're a tight crocheter, I would go up a hook size. So you're just going to continue making loose single crochet all the way around, picking up all the stitches. So here I am at the end. I'm going to slip stitch into my first single crochet to join, and then I'm just going to fasten off. Go ahead and cut off the excess. And then of course we are going to remove our waste yarn. So go ahead and remove your waste yarn, and I will meet you back. So now we are just going to repeat the same exact process to the other side. So using the excess tail, you're going to put your hook in the first stitch and draw up a loop and then chain one. And then you're just going to make a single crochet in every stitch around to pick up these stitches. And remember to make your single crochet very loose, or go up a hook size or two if you must. So here I am at the end. I'm going to join with a slip stitch in my first single crochet and fasten off. And of course, remove your waste yarn from this end. So now you should have an open tube on each end, and you're just going to give your piece a good stretch. Now we're going to wrap around the middle to create our headband. So I'm going to show you the concept here. So now I'm just going to gather it around the center to create a sort of bow effect. So gathering it here in the center will sort of give it the appearance of a bow. So I'm going to crochet a strip to go around this area, and I'm going to measure about how wide I want it to be. So I think I want it to be about 2 inches wide, and that is 5 centimeters. And now I'm going to measure around the piece to see how long I need to make my strip. So it's looking like 3.5 inches or about 9 centimeters. So now I'm going to crochet a strip that is 2 inches wide by 3.5 inches long. And I'm going to use this yarn here. It is a bit bulkier than the yarn that I used, so I'm going to go up a hook size to a 6 millimeter hook. Note that you may want to tack the layers together in the middle so that they stay together better. If you choose to do that, I recommend using the leftover tails from the single crochet rounds you made to pick up your stitches. To begin, you're going to chain 6. And then I'm going to single crochet in the second chain from my hook, and then in each stitch across. And of course you should have a total of 5 single crochet at the end of this first row. If you're using a different yarn, you essentially just need to make this as wide as you need it. So this is my 2 inches wide here. I'm chaining one and turning, and I'm just going to make a single crochet in each stitch across. And again, you should only have 5. So I'm just going to continue repeating the last row until it measures 3.5 inches long. So I'm going to show you here, just so you understand. My piece is 2 inches wide, And so now I'm just going to continue making rows of 5 single crochet until it's 3.5 inches long. So here I've got my piece. It is 3.5 inches long. And I'm going to fasten off, and I'm going to leave myself a long tail for sewing purposes. It doesn't have to be quite as long as I left myself here, but just leave yourself a bit of tail. So now I'm going to add my strip to the front where I want it to be. And I'm going to bring the ends together. And now I'm going to take it off the head form and sew the ends together so it'll stay in place. So I'm going to be using the mattress stitch. Just watch me carefully. I'm going from inner to outer in every stitch, including that first stitch on the opposite side. So in every stitch across, I'm going from inner to outer with my needle. And this is going to create a sort of corset effect. So this is how you would lace up a corset. Once you pick up all those stitches, you're just going to pull, and it should shut the seam closed. So now, of course, you're going to knot off your end here and weave in your tail. So you're just going to take a moment to weave in all your tails that are left over. And you are done. For this next one, I cut a vinyl strip in the size that I needed and just hot glued it to the center. Just search for faux leather in any craft store. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial today. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching.